Liverpool are Premier League champions once again. Arne Slot's debut season, a massive success. Well, almost, because while they dominated England, they fell just short in the Champions League. And that still stings. So what do you do when you're already great but want to be unstoppable? You bring in a world-class talent who can take you all the way. A player who sees passes no one else sees, who glides past defenders like they're training cones. That player? Florian Wirtz. But how does he fit into the Liverpool squad, and how can he win the Champions League? Under Arne Slot, Liverpool made a statement. They were fresh, energetic and full of ideas. In the Premier League, they looked sharp right from the start. The press was back, the intensity was high and the fans could feel something special brewing. And as the season progressed, it became clear this wasn't just a new era, it was a winning one. Liverpool were consistent, and while Manchester City, Arsenal and even Tottenham tried to keep up, Slot's Reds just kept grinding out results. By the final few weeks, it was done. Liverpool were Premier League champions again, an incredible achievement for a new manager in his first season. But here's the twist. While the league title looked shiny, the rest of the season had cracks. Big ones. In the domestic cups, it was a disaster. First, the FA Cup. Liverpool got knocked out in embarrassing fashion by Plymouth Argyle. Yes, you heard that right. A lower league side dumped them out. The kind of night that has you questioning if the players even took it seriously. Then the Carabao Cup. A golden chance to bag silverware early, but they blew it, losing to Newcastle United, who hadn't lifted a major trophy in decades. Liverpool dominated parts of the game but couldn't put it away, and Newcastle made them pay. And then came the big one, the Champions League, the one that Liverpool fans truly crave. The big European night, the drama, the legacy. But this season, it ended in heartbreak. They were knocked out by PSG in the quarter-finals, and Liverpool looked out of ideas. And that brings us to the problem. In all these crucial games, FA Cup, Carabao Final, Champions League, if Mo Salah didn't show up, Liverpool looked lost. There was no spark, no second option, no one to pull the strings, create magic or grab the game by the scruff of the neck. It felt like a recurring theme all season. If Salah wasn't scoring or assisting, who was? Sure, Luis Diaz had moments. Darwin Núñez ran himself into the ground, but the truth is there was no creative heartbeat, no player who could unlock defenses when teams sat deep, no one who could make something out of nothing. And that's what Liverpool lacked. That one special player who could carry the team when the stars weren't shining. A player who could turn tight matches into wins. A player with vision, composure, and ice in his veins. That's why this summer they've decided to go big. And that's where Florian Wirtz comes in. Florian Wirtz isn't just a promising talent anymore. He's one of the most complete, consistent, and intelligent players in European football right now. Last season, he was the heartbeat of a Bayer Leverkusen side that did the unthinkable, an unbeaten title run. That wasn't just a fluke or some lucky streak, it was built on control, discipline, and a player like Wirtz running the show every single week. He finished that historic season with 18 goals and 20 assists across all competitions. That's not just impressive, that's elite. And the scary part? He's kept that level going. This season, even without the hype of an unbeaten campaign around him, he's dropped 16 goals and 15 assists. Still performing, still influencing, still stepping up in big games. That's the consistency you don't often see from a 21-year-old. And it's not just the numbers, it's how he plays. Wirtz sees the pitch differently. He's constantly scanning, always one step ahead. He doesn't just react, he dictates. Whether he's slipping a pass through a back line or creating space in tight areas, he makes it look simple. But it's not. He's intelligent, calculated, and mature beyond his years. He doesn't rely on physicality, he relies on timing, vision, and technique. He drifts between the lines, links up play, and controls the tempo. He knows when to press, when to drop, when to release. In high-pressure games, when others panic or disappear, Wirtz doesn't flinch, he takes control. He's not a luxury player either. He works hard off the ball, tracks back and presses with intent. He fits in any system that values structure and fluidity. That's why he thrived under Xabi Alonso, a manager who doesn't hand out freedom unless you've earned it. And Wirtz earned it because he wasn't just creative, he was reliable. This isn't about hype or potential anymore. Wirtz is already world-class, and he's doing it at a level and frequency that very few players his age, or any age, can match. That's how good he is, and that's why Liverpool are looking at him. Right now, if you're talking about the best young midfielders in the world, there are two names that come up immediately: Jamal Musiala and Florian Wirtz. That's it. That's the shortlist. Musiala brings the flair, the dribbling, the unpredictability. But Wirtz, he brings control, intelligence and structure. If Musiala is chaos in motion, Wirtz is order with purpose. Different styles, but the same elite level. In Germany, he's already seen as the future, not a future star, not one for the next tournament. No, he's already one of the main men. When Germany lines up, Wirtz is expected to create, link play, to unlock defenses. That's not something you say about many 21-year-olds, especially in a national team that's rebuilding its identity. His football IQ is what sets him apart. He knows when to keep it simple, when to go forward, when to hold the ball. He sees gaps before they open. He plays like someone who's been doing this for a decade, and that's rare. Even among the German greats, you hear comparisons to players like Ozil and Kroos. But the truth is, Wirtz is carving out his lane. He's not just a playmaker, he's multifunctional. He can play as a number 10, drop deeper into an 8 role, or drift wide and combine. And no matter where he plays, the quality stays the same. Germany hasn't had this kind of natural creative force in years. A player who doesn't just pass the ball, he bends the rhythm of the game. Someone who can dominate games with vision and patience instead of pace and power. That's what makes him their crown jewel. And he's proving it on every stage. Bundesliga, Europe, international fixtures. It's not just hype, he's already trusted, already relied on, already the difference. For a team like Liverpool desperate to win the Champions League, Florian Wirtz isn't just hope, he's the foundation. But what is his playing style? Wirtz is the kind of player who doesn't need to shout on the pitch. His game speaks for itself. Everything he does is clean, calculated and efficient. No wasted touches, no unnecessary movements. It's just pure football intelligence. He operates best in the final third, but he's not limited to it. He can drop into midfield to collect the ball, drag defenders out of position and link up with teammates. What makes him stand out is his ability to create angles where none exist. He scans constantly. He knows where everyone is before he even gets the ball. Technically, he's elite. His first touch is sharp, his passing range is precise, he can break defensive lines with one pass or use quick combinations in tight spaces to unlock compact teams. And he's not afraid to take risks. He plays with intent, always trying to progress the ball, always looking to move forward. Then there's his decision-making. He doesn't force things, he waits for the right moment. That's what makes him so dangerous. If the space isn't there, he'll recycle play and create a new opportunity. If a gap opens up for a killer ball, he doesn't hesitate, he executes. And let's talk about his movement. He's always drifting between lines, always pulling defenders out of shape. He knows how to manipulate space without needing to beat players one-on-one every time. That's maturity. He's not trying to be flashy, he's trying to be effective. On top of that, he's added an end product. 16 goals and 15 assists this season didn't come from just floating around. He times his runs into the box, he takes shots early, he finds the second ball, he's sharp and he's always switched on. He's always improved defensively. He presses intelligently, cuts off passing lanes and understands when to drop back and hold shape. That's why coaches trust him. He doesn't switch off. He contributes on both sides of the ball. In short, Wirtz is a connector, a creator, and a controller. He's not a luxury player, he's someone you build your system around. And that's exactly why Liverpool are looking at him. Because a player like this doesn't just fit into a team, he elevates it. So the question is, how would he fit into this Liverpool side? But before we talk about that, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Florian Wirtz's potential arrival at Liverpool isn't just exciting, it's strategic. In Arne Slot's emerging system, Wirtz feels less like a new puzzle piece and more like the blueprint for the next chapter. Slot's footballing philosophy builds on some of the principles from the Klopp era: intensity, energy, transitions, but channels them through a more refined, fluid and potentially versatile framework. Wirtz fits this like a glove. Slot's style often leans on a 4-2-3-1 or an asymmetric 3-2-2-3 in possession, with a heavy emphasis on positional rotations, verticality and maintaining overloads in central and half-space zones. These are not exactly the kind of patterns Wirtz has thrived in at Leverkusen under Xabi Alonso. He's not restricted to a single lane. Instead, he floats, reads space and connects phases. His intelligence in manipulating space, especially between the lines, means he doesn't just play a role, he shapes the way the team moves around him. At Leverkusen, Wirtz frequently started as a nominal 10, but would drift to the left half space or even drop deep, almost like a hybrid between an advanced playmaker and a left-sided interior midfielder. That same freedom is likely to exist at Liverpool under Slot, who encourages fluid attacking play through rotations and overlapping movements. If the Reds deploy a double pivot, say McAllister and Gravenberch holding the base, Wirtz could slot in ahead of them as the central orchestrator, drifting left or central depending on where the overload needs to be created. And in a 4-2-3-1 where the central attacking midfield becomes the linchpin between midfield and attack, Wirtz could thrive as the heartbeat. His combinations in tight areas, ability to break lines with sharp movement, and knack for threading passes into the final third make him the kind of player who speeds up the tempo without losing control. He can play off a striker like Darwin Núñez, link with a right-sided runner like Salah, or even drop in to form a midfield triangle when Liverpool are trying to build patient attacks. Then there's the out-of-possession side of the game. Wirtz's defensive work rate often gets overshadowed by his flair, but it's critical to what Slot demands. His pressing numbers at Leverkusen were elite for a playmaker. He doesn't just chase, he reads, he presses with angles, closes lanes, and helps initiate counter-pressing traps. Slot's pressing structure is slightly more controlled than Klopp's chaos-heavy counter-pressing, but it still requires high intelligence and energy from attacking midfielders. And Wirtz ticks both boxes, especially with fullbacks like Frimpong and possibly Kirk pushing high. Wirtz's ability to lead the press and then be the first outlet after a turnover becomes essential. Creativity is another massive draw. Liverpool struggled at times last season when teams sat in deep blocks. The plan too often became give it to Salah or swing in crosses and hope someone gets ahead to it. Wirtz changes that. He gives Liverpool a new dimension in those frustrating matches. His ability to receive the ball under pressure, turn on a dime and play intricate passes through traffic gives Liverpool the edge they've lacked in tight spaces. His vision, especially with reverse passes and quick wall plays around the box, could completely transform how Liverpool attacks compact defences. But what makes Wirtz truly compelling in this context isn't just his skill setup, it's the timing. Liverpool are in a clear state of transition. The squad that defined the Klopp era is being reimagined. Salah, while still critical, is no longer the sole attacking lifeline. Trent Alexander-Arnold is reportedly Madrid-bound. In short, the structure that once revolved around a few stars is shifting toward a more collective, interchangeable unit. That's exactly what Slot wants, a team that adapts its shape in-game, that builds attacks from multiple angles, and that can dominate both the physical and technical battles. Adding Wirtz into a midfield that already includes Szoboszlai and McAllister isn't just adding talent, it's adding chemistry. It's creating a unit that can press, possess, and progress the ball in tandem. Whether the controller behind them is McAllister, Gravenberch in a deeper role, or someone else, the pieces start to look like a modern engine room built to compete across multiple competitions. So this move, if it happens, is about more than just footballing fit. It's a message that Liverpool isn't simply patching holes or trying to stay relevant post-Klopp. They're building something new, something progressive, and potentially something very special. Florian Wirtz wouldn't just be a star signing, he'd be the symbol of a new era. But what do you think? Can Florian Wirtz take them back to the top? Well, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and check out our latest video on Xabi Alonso's weakness. Thank you.